I'm going to show you how to fill in your brows to make them look the best and to really highlight your face without looking too bold or too overpowering. I'm going to be using the La Prairie Luxe Brow Automatique in taupe. So you can use pretty much anything that works for you. If you're blonde, you're going to want to go 1 to 2 shades darker than your hair color, and if you're brunette, you're going to want to go 1 to 2 shades lighter than your hair color, just so it's not too overpowering over the rest of your face. So first of all, also if you're going to be using a brush like this and a powder, you can either use like the Anastasia powders or another powder that's made for your brows, or you can use any matte eyeshadow. You want to make sure there's no shimmer or sheen to it whatsoever. I have a couple on my palette right here. I have soft brown, which may be a good option for you, or maybe wedge, just depending on your hair color shade. You just may want to take, like a Saturday afternoon or something to play around with these colors and figure out what looks best on you and what looks the most natural. So with this, it's just kind of easy because I don't have to keep going back for product, and the point is small. It's kind of angled from the way I use it, but the point's small enough to where I can, get some precision in there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you while trying to do this with my mirror. Let me see. Okay, so if you want to create an arch, and kind of make your eyes kind of lifted, you're going to want to start in this bottom corner right here, along the bottom of your brow on the underside here. And if you kind of focus there and do small light strokes, if you can see there, you kind of want to start your definition to be down here, because if you fill in down here, it's going to make your arch look higher, because there's going to be more difference between your lowest point and your highest point. So you want to start there, and you don't really want like a rounded inner part right here. You kind of want it more straight than rounded. You don't want to have like the tadpole eyebrows. So just kind of do short light strokes to fill in that part. And now we're going to focus on our arch. So for me, my arch hits about right here. This should be kind of like the outer part of your eye, of like the color in your eye. Should be about right there where your natural arch will hit. You don't want to create an arch that's fighting against what you have going for you already. So I wouldn't want to make my arch like here or out here. It may look good on someone else, but you just want to work with what you have, because everybody's brows are different. So for me, I have really light brows, and especially up at this point where my arch is, it's really light and I have sparse hair right there. So I kind of want to gently fill that in and connect that with the base that I've created down here. Now for the ends of your brow, you're just going to want to bring it down to where they naturally end. Sometimes, for me, my brows get a little long down here, so I'll pluck just maybe like 3 hairs down here at the very end, or trim them just a little bit so that they're not going all the way down to like my eye. So you're just connecting everything with short, small strokes. And you're going to want to take a step back while you're doing this with like not your magnifying mirror, just a normal mirror, to just kind of evaluate what you've done and make sure, you know, you're not going in too much or making them too crazy or too dark. And just compare it to your other eyebrow to make sure they're kind of symmetrical. They're obviously not going to be identical. I'm sure you've heard a bunch of the gurus on here say they're not twins, they're sisters. But you want to make sure, you know, that one's not getting too out of control. Okay, so I have this brow done as far as filling it in. I'm going to go ahead and do my next brow and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have my brows filled in, I'm going to want to take a clear brow gel. You can find these at drugstores or at Sephora and Nordstrom. You can get the Anastasia brow gel. I prefer this one just because it gives a little more hold. So we're brushing upwards in the inner part, upwards and out, and kind of picking up the lashes underneath that are kind of going crazy. And then through the arch, we're just brushing it through. So you're just kind of brushing everything into place so the work that you've done stands out and looks a little better. It definitely does help if you have a good wax job when you're doing this, because sometimes you just can't deal with those unruly hairs that are just out of control. It definitely helps you have a base to start with. Now you're going to want to highlight under your brow just to give you that extra lift. You can either use a powder, a loose powder like a pigment, or a pencil. Anastasia makes a pencil kind of like this. If you're using a powder, you're going to want to use a brush like this one. I got this at Sephora, and it just says eyeshadow brush, so it doesn't really have a name, but it's flat like that, just so you can get right in there to give you that shape. You can use a matte color or a shimmery color, but you're going to want to use kind of like a nudie whitish color. I hesitate to say white because you don't want to put like matte white eyeshadow right under your eyes. That's not going to look very natural. But a color I recommend from MAC is Shroom. This is just a really good brow highlight color. It's not too crazy, not too shimmery or anything. Another good option is Solar White. This stands out a little bit more and it's a little more golden. Or Naked Lunch. This is very neutral, kind of like a peachy sheen. If you want something that doesn't stand out too much. You could also use the Naked Pigment, or from Almay they make an ivory. This looks really natural under the brow bone too. I'm just going to use this little pencil from Sephora, but you're just going to want to just put a little bit under your eyebrow from like this point to the outer corner. And if you're using a pencil, you can just blend a little bit with your finger so it's not a harsh line. And that way that gives you a little shine under there to highlight that and make your arch look even bigger. So this is my little tutorial on brows. I couldn't cover everything just because I don't have enough time to, but hopefully this helped you guys. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to go more in depth in anything else, and I will try to do that for you. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.